Thursday, January 24, 2019 started like any other night at Etashaw Hotel and Suites in Lagos, Nigeria. The staff had finished a long day's work. Dinner was served, a simple meal of instant noodles. But this was no ordinary meal. Shortly after eating, the workers fell into a deep, unnatural sleep. By morning, 2 people would be dead. The hotel owner, a 56-year-old London returnee named Abinola Ushola, was found strangled in her room. Her hotel manager, Tunji Omikunle, was also murdered. What happened in those final hours? Who committed such a calculated and heartless crime? Today, we examine the tragic case of Abinola Ushola, the woman behind the dream. Before Etashaw Hotel became a functioning business, it was a vision in the mind of one woman. Abinola Ushola had lived in the United Kingdom for over 34 years. She studied business law and human resources at the University of North London and later worked as an event manager. Though she built her life abroad, her heart remained in Nigeria. Like many Nigerians in the diaspora, she dreamed of returning home to retire and invest in her country. In March 2018, that dream became reality when she opened Etashaw Hotel and Suites in Lagos. She did not simply fund the business and walk away. She was hands-on, disciplined, detail-oriented, determined to make it succeed. But less than a year later, that dream would cost her everything: the fraud. As someone experienced in management, Abinola paid attention to the books. Over time, she noticed something disturbing. Despite full bookings and steady business, profits were falling short. After reviewing financial records with the hotel manager, Tunji Omikunle, they uncovered internal fraud. Some employees had allegedly siphoned millions of naira from the hotel. Police were invited. Some workers were dismissed. Others were questioned. To Abinola, this was about accountability. But to some staff members, it was humiliation. Resentment began to grow. They believed she was wealthy simply because she was a London returnee. They gossiped that she was hiding foreign currency. They convinced themselves she was stingy and unfair. That dangerous mindset would soon turn into conspiracy. The plot. On the night of January 24, 2019, 4 staff members, including 2 dismissed workers, allegedly put their plan into motion. One of them prepared noodles for dinner. A powerful sleeping drug was mixed into the food. There was no smell, no strange taste. One by one, employees fell into deep sleep. But there was one problem. Tunji, the hotel manager, did not eat the noodles. He retired early to his room. That single decision disrupted their plan. The first attack. The access card to Abinola's room was in Tunji's possession. The conspirators went to his room to retrieve it. He woke up. He resisted. But he was overpowered. His hands and feet were tied. He was strangled to death. They took the access card. Then they moved to their final target: the murder of Abinola. Abinola had already retired for the night. The attackers entered her room. What happened in those final moments, we can only imagine. She was bound. Money, reportedly about £100, jewelry, and personal belongings were taken. But in a strange twist, the loot was later abandoned inside the hotel. Then she was strangled. By dawn, 2 lives had been taken. The 12-year-old discovery. The most heartbreaking part of this tragedy came the next morning. Abinola's 12-year-old son was staying at the hotel. Around 7 a.m., the school bus arrived. A local vigilante member at the gate had noticed suspicious movement overnight and tried calling both Tunji and Abinola, without success. The boy, who was usually woken up by Tunji, got dressed himself. When asked to check on his mother, he walked into her room and discovered her lifeless body. The trauma of that moment is unimaginable. The camera they forgot. The attackers believed they had erased all evidence. They smashed and disabled CCTV cameras throughout the hotel. But they overlooked one camera. And that single camera recorded everything. Their movements. Their conversations. Their coordination. When investigators reviewed the footage, the truth became undeniable. The arrest and trial. One of the suspects, Vincent Jeffrey Izoji, the 30-year-old hotel supervisor, fled to Port Harcourt. But he was tracked down and arrested. During interrogation, he allegedly confessed that the group believed they had no future at the hotel and decided to rob their employer, assuming she had foreign currency because she lived in London. In court, the CCTV footage was played. The evidence was overwhelming. In 2023, Vincent Izoji was sentenced to death by hanging for the murder of Abinola Ushola and Tunji Omikunle. However, 3 other suspects remain at large. The lives left behind. Tunji left behind a wife and newborn twins. He had planned to visit them in Ibadan, but postponed his trip at the request of his employer. He never made that journey. Abinola had reportedly been finalizing plans to permanently return to London. She was killed just as she was preparing to leave. Her children were left to grapple with an irreplaceable loss. Even when justice is delivered in court, it does not erase the pain. This is a story of betrayal, of greed, of resentment turned deadly. 2 lives ended over assumptions and entitlement. What are your thoughts on this case? Drop your comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.